What's going on, everybody? Welcome to G-Miles World Podcast. And I just want to say, like I said in the title, man, the ref no call, that's what a lot of this game is going to be down, what it's going to come down to in the championship game for the NFC between the Rams and the Saints. But I just want to point out that in fairness to everybody that watches sports, we kind of like the real life determination of what happens. Like how with baseball, we didn't really like that they wanted to bring in replays because we liked like the real live ongoing action of what the refs think happened. In this play right here that happens with the Rams defender hitting the Saints player clearly while the ball is in the air. He's not even looking at the ball, just trying to bash this guy's brains out. It's that human element that most of us as sports fans seek. And I know that Saints fans don't want to hear that right now, because if I was a Saints fan, I'll be raging uncontrollably. But that's my thought process about it. Pretty much the refs are going to make mistakes in anything that we watch. Nothing is going to be perfect, but I agree with some of the rage that's going on Twitter and everything like that. That call should have been made. It should have been ended on the chance for the actual players to, the Saints to line up and try a field goal. If they miss it, they miss it. If they make it, they make it. But the game should have been over. I also want to add, though, with the way that the NFL works, I don't think that would have been the best way to end the game. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of weird, and you can make as many excuses as you want, but the NFL is like that. If that call is made, you see like how, remember with Crabtree and Sherman, and it could have been pass interference on Sherman, but the way that the game ended, they didn't want to do it. It's like, it's a lot of touch and go. So we've seen this happen before, but I agree. I watched it as it happened. If I'm a ref, I know it's tough, but you got to throw the flag. In overtime, they tried to make up for it with the guy did hold him a little bit, but they called the PI right before the dude picked the ball off on a tip and caught it on his back. It's a very, very hard game to swallow. I know that the Saints felt like this was their year. Drew Brees was supposed to be the MVP, who I think Patrick Mahomes will be winning that anyway with the 5,000 yards, 50 touchdowns, et cetera, et cetera. But it's a very, very hard thing to understand that I know you guys don't want to hear it if you're a Saints fan. Whatever, I don't think the NFL is going to start to use replay for penalties. You see what I'm saying? It's like, they've already done too much with it. They're going to have to admit, though, that was a bad play not to call it, but I don't think that they're going to institute that going forward. I just don't. It's already a lot of things with the hitting, and you can't really hit anybody, and you got to lay a quarterback on the ground, give him a pillow. It's too much stuff going on with that. And that was also a very, very good no call when Drew Brees got hit in overtime, because the way that they hit him, that seemed kind of crazy. So that could have been a call also. So like I said, we're going to get into that in a second. I want to touch on some pointers, though, for the Rams, because, again, I understand that play should have been called, but the Saints should have won this game in a different type of fashion. They allowed the Rams to come back in this game using plays that Sean Payton usually uses with that fake punt, like trying to surprise on special teams. One of the interesting things, though, that I want to point out is Gurley. Now, I've spoken about Gurley several times, and I've said to you guys, I think he's one of the best running backs in football. If you watch this game, if the Rams don't sign C.J. Anderson, the Rams don't make it to the Super Bowl. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's a very dangerous thing to fathom that Gurley was in on like 4 or 5 snaps in the entire game. Like, I don't know if he's hurt. I don't know what's going on with the guy, but C.J. Anderson is that dude right now. And he looks like a bowling ball. He looks like, he can't run anywhere. Like, he just runs to the bodega and just eats maximum amounts of sandwiches and beef patties with cheese. But the dude is able to make plays. And that was critical for the Rams. Jared Goff, he made some really good throws. He also seemed very nervous. I don't trust him. I don't trust him on, playing against either the Patriots or the Chiefs, whoever wins in the AFC. Whoever wins in the AFC, in my opinion, is going to win the Super Bowl, whichever one of those teams win. Now, I did pick the Rams to win this game. Throughout the game, I have to be honest, like, I thought I thought the Saints were going to take care of it, especially when they were up 13-0. But what I didn't like was that they settled for field goals early in the game, and that always gives you life. If you don't score 7, bro, you're opening up the door for people to do a lot of different things. Obviously, you're going to have 2 weeks before the Super Bowl, so you have time for Gurley to get, a little bit healthy, whatever like that. But I don't care how porous the defenses are that play against them in the Super Bowl. Even if it's the Patriots defense, I still don't I don't know, because Jared Goff is something. I don't know what he's doing. Maybe he might end up coming out and doing whatever. Because like I said, I want to give him that credit, but he did, like, a lot of those throws that he missed in the game. You got to make those throws, like, you know, as an NFL quarterback. Like, we expect NFL quarterbacks to be able to make certain throws. It's not like we're talking about bum quarterbacks. It's not like we're talking like he's Blake Bortles. Like, the dude is way better than Blake Bortles. I'm just saying that he has that nervousness, like when he was supposed to run the ball into the end zone. And then he thinks about it. Like, he doesn't have that instinct, that dog in him. And, you know, like I said, I have to see how it works out. The one thing that I do know, he has very, very suitable arm strength. He can get the ball down the field. And, he can make those nice mid-throws. He threw some very, very good out routes to Brandon Cooks. All those things are great. But certain key throws, when people are wide open, he just missed them. And he has to do better with that. And then, you know, it'll come around. But it's sort of like how people feel about Dak Prescott. You know, I don't know how to feel about Dak Prescott because, you know, some games you think like, bro, this good, you know, he's good. And then he'll miss like wide open receivers. But then you'll look at his stats and then you'll say, oh, bro, this guy leads the league in completion percentages and, you know, all that time. It doesn't make any sense. But visibly, when you're looking at it, it just seems kind of weird to me. And I just want to, like I said, I want to clarify it. This young man has a very bright future with Sean McVay. Okay, he just has to be able to hit those throws on the dime because honestly, this game shouldn't even have went to overtime when the Saints allowed them to get back in the game. The Rams should have won this game even without that penalty. So I understand the gripes and stuff like that, but keep in mind, you know, Jared Goff, he made some bad throws, and dudes were running wide open on drag routes, crossers, and stuff like that. He just made bad throws. And that's the reason that it came down to that play that everybody's going to be talking about. But if you analyze the game in its entirety, the Saints didn't finish their business. That's ultimately what it comes down to. And again, it reminds me of like what Skip Bayless was saying about LeBron James. After J.R. Smith went idiot and just, you know, did whatever, you know, he ran out of bounds, ran the clock out, did all that stupidness. Game 1, Golden State Warriors, we all remember that before LeBron James went to L.A. When it's overtime, it's a brand new game. So if the Saints are that team, they should be able to go down there and win it. Now, I know, again, I'm not saying that call wasn't bad. I'm saying, like, if you think about, like, the whole, think about it objectively. It's a whole new game. If the Saints are that team, they should be able to go down the field and win this game, at least get a field goal and let their defense get a stop. That did not happen. So with that being said, I think in fairness to the Rams, people are going to try to say, yeah, they you know, that was a lucky thing, whatever, lucky break. That's how they got there. In fairness to the Rams, they did, you know, the Saints were able to receive the ball in overtime, so they had the first opportunity to score, which is what everybody wishes for in overtime. So that was a plus. And the Rams were able to make a great defensive play and get the ball. It's no other way that I can actually look at it because I know the refs really just went wild with missing that call. But if you give a good team the opportunity to be able to come back down the field with the ball, a highly explosive offense like the Saints, I'm expecting at least a field goal. Like when he called tails and what was he? It was heads or something, whatever it was tails, and Drew decided to, you know, he wanted to receive the ball. I'm looking at it like, yo, this is the Saints. The Saints got this. You know what I'm saying? Like, with everything that's going on, the Saints got it, and they just didn't. You know, the Rams were destined to win this game. Like I said, for the next game that's coming, you'll be getting a recap for that as well. I did pick the Chiefs in that game. All right, so whatever happens with that, we'll see what goes on. But I do think that Brady's reign is about to come to an end with a win right now by the Chiefs. If I'm wrong, bro, you guys will ream me. I'll tell you guys, like, whatever, bro, I got to take what I got to take. But that's the part of being bold enough to say what you think and to say a prediction. I'm not scared to, you know, to get you guys ravishing me and doing everything like that. But again, I did pick the Rams to win. The way that they won was kind of wild, but it's still a win. You know, they're not going to ask you later on, you know, what happened in the play because people won't remember that play. Years from now, people won't remember what the ref did. They'll just remember that the Rams won the game. And that's how weird sports is. You know, you just start to, you know, you forget very, very quickly how something happened. All right. So for everybody, you know, all the Saints fans, man, it's a tough loss. But you have a very solid team. I don't know what's going to happen with some of the things you need to do, but Michael Thomas, I believe, needs a lot more help than he has on the other side. And we'll see how it goes on. And for the Rams, Gurley got to get healthy. Something got to give. Because if something doesn't happen, I don't know. Like I said, I predict that whoever wins the AFC is going to win the Super Bowl. I want to thank you guys and girls for watching. Until next time, one love.